lady say to me, I'm 82 years old, I'm terrified they're going to take my pension. I'm terrified that I'm going to freeze to death. I'm terrified that I'm going to starve. This is about community. This is about keeping everyone warm and watered. And what Chris has to talk about now, I believe, is how we now link up. Those of us that woke up, recognised what was happening, and have spent the last 5 years learning to get to where we are now. We are needed now. Our knowledge, what we've learned, is needed for those that are waking up fresh to it, that Chris is connected with, because he hasn't been censored, we were. So, over to Chris. I'm just letting everyone know now, we will break for lunch at 12:14. So, there you go.
Well, I had no idea I was even doing this. So, just invited me down. I was actually, you heard it, I was actually in a boxing ring last night doing a talk in Leicestershire, and he just invited me down. Now I'm on the stage. So I wasn't prepared for this. Where do we start? Is anyone even here? Yeah. How mad was that? So, I'll give you a little bit of my background. I was brought up in a very abusive childhood, absolute extreme abuse. Don't need to get into the details of that.
Guys!
I went round the world healing from that. Spent a lot of time in the Amazon rainforest, working with plant medicines. Actually ended up working with ayahuasca for a very long time. As well as being an outlaw biker at the same time, which was a very conflict of interest, as you can imagine. Friday night out with the bikers and then the rest of the world doing shamanic ceremonies. So yeah. Then the shield happened. You know, one of my medicine journeys, there's so many synchronicities with how the shield came about. One, through what happened at my childhood, I always knew I had to try and do something about it, because I was absolutely devastated. After taking years of beatings, I found out that after all taking all the beatings, that my sister still got abused, and I didn't know about it. So that, I felt a bit of a letdown at a young age. So I always wanted to do something about that. I'm working with medicines all around the world. I was literally double booked every month. Absolutely, people have been, that were doing on their healing journeys. I was too tired to carry on. The waiting list were massive. And when I sat with the medicines, if anyone's a bit spiritual there, aren't we? I can talk a bit freely, can't I? Sat with the medicines, and no matter how hard I worked, there was still more people coming. It was never ending. Never ending. We was a big team, and and plus all the other people I know around the world were all fully booked. I'm like, how do we carry on with this? How do we keep doing this? And the last medicine journey I did was very simple. Everyone knows about ayahuasca, talking to Pachamama, Mother Nature, etc. And the words were, put the drum down, Chris, pick your knuckle dusters back up and start being an outlaw biker again. Instead of healing, go and prevent it. And I've not picked the drum up since. So, and that was another synchronicity of the shield. And that's when it started that night. There's so many stories, I could come up with a million reasons of how it all interlinked. And literally, I looked in the mirror one day, as everything was coming to a point. I just broke up with my partner because I knew I had to go on a 2-year mission as well. The medicine said you have to separate, you got to go and do what you need to do for 2 years. And I was teaching a lot about heroes' journeys and all that sort of stuff, and I was doing men's rites of passage retreats. And I was like, walk away? What we're doing? And it's like, no, separate and walk away. I was like, okay. And the amount of things that's happened to me in my spiritual journeys, everything I've been told always came true. So I just went, okay, we had to, bam, done. Signed, sealed, and delivered, I was on my way. I didn't know what I was doing. I looked in the mirror, and that was it, bam. Time to put your drum down and pick up your knuckle dusters, were kind of the word I But the message was go and prevent. So I did. I literally had no top on. I just didn't expect anything of it. If anyone seen the original video, I was just coming out of a big long 12-hour meditation, put the camera to my face, said what I had to say, and it went viral everywhere. And I had to pick up the pieces very quickly. I'd always been planning something like this, but I didn't know how it was going to fit together. It just fit together. People came in the droves, everyone came from everywhere. Not even just to help me out as volunteers, but to offer their services. Before I knew it, we had a big high-tech firm that put all my work on their hosting site, so it was separate and secure. And then that's it, we've set up taking members in all over the show. So I'll run you quickly because it's evolved a lot very fast. And this is not all down to me, it's down to the absolute thousands of people that help me out. And my team is massive. The amount of admin staff, and they're fully rammed out constantly. So it all started off and it looks very vigilante, but it got the attention. The outlaw biker image, the big tattoo guy, always going to come and save the world. I've been in the forest doing shamanic journeys for the last 5 years, I've still got the tattoos, but yeah. It's we had to think fast, and so I went back to everything I needed from when I was a child. So we built, I remember a kid looking out the window, why is no one helping us? So we built a community presence team. Lads have just got men and women that go out in the community just on little patrols for just literally showing presence. We then, due to me being around kids in areas, certain rings of people, I'll say, we'll keep it nice. Certain rings of people that like to do horrible things. We've all seen it, they don't get investigated, they're all getting away with it. So I built a vanguard team. That team's led by an ex-chief inspector who left for all that reason because he didn't like it. He now runs a massive group of people for us, all pretty much ex-military, surveillance trained. They go survey, they go and we get all the reports in off the public, they go and survey it themselves, and we're working on 5 absolute massive cases. One of them's bigger than Rochdale at the moment, and I've got loads of men on that at the moment. But then the final team, and we've done all this in 7 months, by the way, so it's been a lot of work. I'll go into the details in a minute. Is a safeguarding team. Now this is made up of I'll just tell you about the team first, and I'll tell you why I built it this way. Safeguarding team are people that are passionate. How can I put it? Some people join social services for the job. Some people want to do it because they've been through it. And the ones that have been through it have a different sort of passion. So I put them ones in charge. The people that have experienced and all the qualifications don't like it, but the ones that really don't know, I'm not accepting ticket boxes. So yeah, safeguarding team, they literally, says it on the tin. They hold the authorities accountable. They will take reports to the public, they will get investigated, they will question why the job's not done. If anyone wants to be on social, we're dealing with, I've actually got to give them a chance to come back and I can tell you a bit about it. Dealing with a sheltered housing at the moment, where a guy with mental health issues that shouldn't be in there, he's very violent and an alcoholic, has been let to stay there. He's tried to say rape and abuse all the women in there, even to the point of digging a grave outside the windows if they don't do what they say. This has been going on to Easter, since Easter. He's been given 16 ASBOs. Still, he's been arrested multiple times and charged. They still put him back in that block of flats to carry on. When the ladies came to me like, Chris, we've asked him so many times, the police have told us to stay in our flat, don't use the the rest of the facilities there, and just lock your door. So they've been locked in. One of them's 90 years old. I've got all the footage. I'm holding back because I'd rather the authorities do the job. I'm giving them a chance to come and be nice with me. But to the point, one of the ladies who first contacted me there, her and her mother, who also lives there, was about to commit suicide. They were planning on jumping in front of a train. Our team spoke with the mother on Friday. The abuse started again on Saturday morning and she died. So that's the sort of stuff. The way I'm kind of working it is not going against the system, but trying to change it from within. With fully qualified people doing the right thing legally. So in this case, the Housing Trust and the police, I've got a few more days. They've actually contacted me on Tuesday for a meeting. They can either come down to that place. I've got rid of the guy, he's gone. I turned up with my film crew. It's not gone out yet, I'm holding back. But they got rid of him that day. But I'd rather the police and the Housing Trust turn up there and answer the questions of the residents instead of going out and going, look what these have done. I'd rather, my main concern is the people that live in there. So yeah, in 7 months, we've had to build. In 7 months, we've had to build CRM systems. I didn't know anything about them. Yeah, recruitment management. So I'm a volunteer, so I have a database. I've had to build. So they've all got to be DBS checks, I remember. Which all of a sudden, it's taking months and months to get my company's DBS checks. So, so everyone's joining, and they've got to wait about 3 months so I can put them on get them out at the moment. So I've upped my insurance so I can take volunteers out now. Trainees, while they wait for the DBS checks, as long as they're with a full member. Training, obviously, we're not charging the end user. So the volunteers pay a small fee of £55 for the whole year, which covers some of the costs. But then to get them 35 courses I need for each safeguarding team. It was looking about £6,000–7,000 per volunteer for getting where I wanted to. Now I was already fully qualified in safeguarding from previous jobs. I've had to go out and get my teaching level 3, and I built my own academy in the website. So every volunteer can do all the courses, and it doesn't cost me thousands and thousands of pounds, because I've funded all this myself. Except for 20–30 quid to get off the public. I've had to fund everything. On top of that, I've learnt 4 letters that I absolutely hate. GDPR. I've had to sit through multiple meetings of GDPR. And so we needed the communication for our members. So I also built our own Facebook. Use our own social media that's built into the back end of the website. All custom built, members portal, which all the courses are on. But everyone's then in their safeguarding groups that can talk safely, GDPR, and also the biggest thing, community. They can all share pictures of the motorbikes and the beards and whatever else. So I built a full. It's just like Facebook. They have private groups in it, the private message, everything. I built all that into the back end of the site. What else?
What can we do for you, Chris?
Everyone keeps asking me that. You know what? I get companies phoning me of all calibers. What can we do, Chris? And I go, I don't know. I don't know. I literally. The way I built it knowing that I won't get much funding. So let's just say the tech side, they host it all for free for me because they want to do that. My volunteers, no one gets paid there. No one gets paid. I've got no wages to pay. I think I've run it on about £800 a month, and nationwide, even in probably a bit more than that because it's small things, email addresses. So one team can send another team email addresses, phone numbers. It's all the little things that no one knows, and it just all adds up. But yeah, there's the public. There's so many concerns coming in, so much going on. Like I say, I'm a bit like what, in Spanish, I've just been listening to what, because I did not know what I was coming into today. I just went on like everything else, I was trusted the universe. But yeah, I don't believe when it comes, how do I put it? I think the fundamental of any government or any country or anything is that the women and children are safe. Everyone's safe. Everyone. That's the main fundamental. And I am literally, I mean, I'll tell you, even this morning, so I stayed at Suck's house last night, and I went to get my dog some dog food. I was in the van outside, if anyone could see Bruno on my Facebook. And a guy came up, he goes, oh, I've been watching you, he goes, and he's opened up about what has happened to his niece, and that nobody's done anything. In fact, they're not even charged the guy that I won't get into it, but you can imagine, he was like nearly in tears. He's like, they're not listening to us. This guy's still walking, he lives 2 miles away from my niece, and he's allowed to, and he walks past the house every now and then, and he abused her at 13 years old. I don't understand what's going on. You know, I went through it, so I know I'm not, you know, I went through it. Luckily I was a big lad. But my parents, you know, to pay off a debt, my parents dropped me off in Scotland with one of these people to pay off a debt. Look, I was a big enough lad, and it didn't happen. So I've been around it, I've seen it, and I built a shield to try and stop that happening to any other kid or anyone else. You know, I was, just to give you, I mean, I can tell you loads of stories. I've only got a little bit of time. I can go on. The lad from the nursing home, one of the residents who's an ex-veteran, one of the women were being attacked. He stepped in to help and stop the attack, and he got an asthma. And I'm like, so he's like, I can't do anything, Chris. Well, I'll do it for you. So my thing is, you've got to play a game on social media. You get silenced so easy. You've got to play a game. But I'm more of the let's change the system instead of going against it. You know, and you change that not by going against them, but giving the community hope, giving the community what they, you know, showing them, well, look, these patrols out, we're looking after ourselves. All right, they're not listening to them open. Instead of going, oh, it's the government, they're doing that. Let's turn up as a community. Let's do it ourselves. And to have the amount of ex-military lads that are out surveying and, you know, literally, if the police, it's very tough, if I can get into it, very tough like, with these grooming gangs. You don't want to go in because the girls don't want to say anything. And so he's like, well, and they go, we know what's going on, but we can't do anything because they won't give us a statement. So we have to look at what we can do. And I'm working, like I said before, 5 big ones at the moment. I'd love to go into some detail because some of the people that are attending these things, you would absolutely love to know. But I've got to keep my mouth shut at the moment. Yeah, I think that's kind of gone.
Yeah, can I ask just operationally, how does it work? So if we get wind of something happening in a particular area, how do we get in contact with the Shield, with you guys? Could you just talk us through how that whole process works?
So we're getting at multiple angles at the moment. We've got the phone numbers on the website. Most stuff actually comes through social, and this is why I don't answer any of my messages on social. So I've got a big team because they're used to the system, and so we've just give you an idea. So it'll come into like if it comes in through social media, let's say. The admin staff will pass it on to either the safeguarding team or the vanguard team, and they'll put it in the case system because my end result is court. My end result is a safeguard. I built it as a safeguarding CIC, so we can take them to court for a juridical review. And by having enough members and enough people doing the right thing with no hate, no politics, no nothing, just pure love. Like, come on, please. You know, you have a responsibility, the minimum responsibility. Please just stop letting these people out to do it again. And even like I said, the older ladies, the old people's own, you know, protect them, look after them, because that's going to be us soon as well. You know, but yeah, so they'll come through, and either the safeguard and the vanguard team will pick it up, and they'll do their jobs basically. If it's something that needs investigating, or if it's something that needs safeguarding. But our aim is any safeguarding concern will be dealt with by the community, and nothing hidden. We will take it all fully. I've had to train everyone up to such a high level that they can then video it going over to the police, going, "We've done it all for you. Please do something about it." And otherwise, I'll use all my socials and I'll expose them. And I suppose enough of them. See, no one's, funny enough at the moment, no one's gone that far. They've not tested if I'll do it or not. Then all of a sudden things get done as soon as I show up in my film career. It's like, all of a sudden, it's like, yeah, so it's working. But yeah, they go through that and the relevant teams deal with it. I've no calls left unheard. You know, Sam, who runs my safeguarding team, she literally sits, she'll sit for 5 or 6 hours on the phone to one person that's phoned in. And Lindsay, one of the other women that runs the Northwest for me, with regional managers, when she walks into that sheltered housing, all the women's faces light up, like she sits and listens. And I think the system is so much about ticking boxes or passing them on to the next person. No one sits and listens and goes, that's a human being. That's someone that cares. That's and just give you an example, a little bit. I know I can talk me. When I was doing the interview with the woman from the sheltered housing who's just lost her mum due to what happened, she lit up because I said, right, well, this is going on YouTube. So tell the world who your mum was. And she burst in tears because she's like, her mum's just spent the last 12 months being abused after having given all her life to the community. And I was like, well, tell the world who she really is and for a memory. And that meant the world to her, just that little bit of caring, that little bit of listening, showing that someone's there. And the only way to change this system is the community steps together and give the community back hope. Because social media, the news, it's all fear, doom, gloom. And they cause more damage by having people sat in their house scared of going outside. And it's like, no, there's a beautiful world out there. There's beautiful people doing beautiful things. It's there you go.
Yeah, thanks very much, Chris. At the Bournemouth Community Assembly, at our last meeting, we had a team called Safeguarding Force, or Safeguard Force, and I wanted to ask, are you aware of them? Are they aware of you? And yeah, because I'm hearing that you are creating a nationwide network.
Yeah, so Safeguarding do a patrol, they do a good job, but they do patrol in it's totally different. They do a patrol around Bournemouth, I believe, and they do a good job. They've got a lot of respect from the community. It looks similar. Mine's based on safeguarding. It always has been. So I took a step back. I waited till everyone was checked out. I took a step back. Mine's not about patrols. If you see anything online of my patrols going out in the different areas, it's because something's happened there. If that makes sense. The patrols are great. It gives to work to like. So I literally the whole UK split into 12 regions for me. And we've got regional organisers and management in every single region. But to have patrols in every town, I need at least 17,500 volunteers. So I have to look at what I've got at the moment and where it can be effective. Now, effective surveillance and safeguarding. So I prioritise that. Everyone that joins becomes part of the community presence team. So they get put in their region's team. They then get a choice to go in Vanguard or Safeguarding team if they choose. Does that make sense? So they can double one. Now, in the spare time, if there's something going on in their area where, let's say, there's been an attack at a certain park, then they'll go around that park for a few days and just until I've got enough people, that's what I can do. But then I'm getting back onto safeguarding, back onto the amount of forms that we fill in. But yeah, I think it's safe form. They just do the patrols and constant patrols, and and yeah, but I'm more of the safeguarding aspect. And my aims, I built this on the basis of the end. I start every bit. I've had a lot of very good businesses, and I always start with the end result. And my end result was going in court and getting the laws changed where people will be protected. And I built everything backwards from that. And I always look, you always do what you can with what you've got wherever you are. And that's how I work every day. WeAreTheShield.com. Yeah.
We will
So
share that.
everyone that volunteers, it's a £50 fee, and that pays for your DBSs, with enhanced DBS. We do get discount because it's voluntary, but there's still about 20, so I can't remember what, there's a charge. But then, if everyone's seen the images of our lads out, everyone's got a unique number on the back of their uniforms. That's another database I have to pay for. And then the uniforms themselves, then the email addresses and the other little things, and even down to £5 per postage per sending a uniform out. It's something I completely forgot. So I ended up putting in about £16 out of my own money per volunteer at the moment. And just one second, I'll just explain this last bit. Even to the point of just, anyone knows, Suck's actually just done it. He's just sold my vehicles, my motorhome and all that, so I can pay for ex-military lads, well, anyone to be honest, now, who can't afford the £55. So, Suck's just sold my motorhome for me and a few other bits and bobs. So, because, so I can fund more volunteers. The more people holding them accountable, the more change we can make. And the infrastructure I've built is, to be honest, if you've got ex-policemen in there, I go, this is better than the police system. I've made it on steroids because I know the end result, you need the infrastructure. Mark, I love watching Mark's stuff online, by the way.
Chris, I started following you from the very first video. You'd never come up on social media before, and started watching you and I thought, excuse my French here, but I thought, fuck, this other guy's actually got the bollocks to do what people are thinking, and got the guts to stand up, right? And we were on tour at the time, travelled around for 7 months, and as I said to you outside, never ever felt uncomfortable or uneasy in our country. Never once did we feel pressured under any circumstances. A beautiful place to live, right? And you just stood there and by your own admission said all the shit what's going on, right? Which is kept very quiet. And you also said by your own admission, and I go through the same thing when people say to me, how can we help? And I go, I don't know, right? Because most of it's in our heads, unfortunately. There's got to be someone who can draw that out of your head so that the masses can help you, because everyone, and I don't, for those who really don't understand what Chris is doing, it's fucking phenomenal. Excuse my French. I followed you right the way through and followed all the things you're doing, and as a dad and a granddad go, how do I help? You know, yeah, I can spread your stuff on social media, yes, I can chuck 50 quid into the donation things I've done, but what more can I do? And everybody who follows you on social media must be thinking the same. They need that call to action, Chris.
Yes, they do.
Well, I mean, there will be some bits. One, legal. We know, like I said, the end result, I'm going to be in some legal battles, and I'm not backing down. And to answer the question, I know everyone says, how have you got the balls to do this? You read about my past. I told you briefly about how I got brought up in. I also am an outlaw biker for 22 years. I also got put in prison for quite a bit for a crime I didn't do. And I was in solitary in prison, and I was very in my spiritual journey. So I was only on remand because I had to wait for a court date. And I sat and thought, well, they're bringing me food, I get to meditate all day. And the message very clear was, this is the worst they can do to you. I fucking love this. I love it. It's an all or nothing, you've got to do it. There's no point in half-hearting it, and it's what's great about watching all these people coming together here. You know, there's a lot of issues in the world. I think I'm really playing on one issue, which is the safety aspect. but there's so many more. You know, the cost of living, everyone's struggling out there. And people, you know, I am autistic by the way, but I don't understand why we vote a government in who don't have our interests at hand.
We don't.
And it does that, and I'm like, but literally for people like, I'm like, nobody doesn't, it makes no sense. I was like, we're paying them to do something, and all they're doing is making us worse and making us more unsafe. And if we cannot come together for the fundamental thing of children's safety, of, you know, you can get in trouble for sending a tweet, but you can do what you want to a child and walk free on bail, so if you go and do it again, then we're in a messed up, and that is no government for me. And you know, you got point fingers, or we can do something about it. And I'm about action. I'm a very stoic man, and you go, no, I can't control the external, I can only control what I do. So I don't pay any interest to what everyone else is doing. I pay interest what's important to me and get on with that, because that's what makes a difference. Otherwise, we're avoiding, we're playing avoidance. And yeah, so it's up to us. So, everybody, if there is anything that I need, it's what's going on in the future. Need a lot more members going out doing their bits, but we need safeguarding experts. We need people that understand that, you know, I need about, I reckon, for the amount of stuff that's coming in, I'm going to need about 2,000 safeguarding officers, at least, to really make sure that we get every bit of piece of paper, so every time the police release someone back in to do something, we hold them accountable as a safeguarding CIC. And this is why I built it as a safeguarding CIC. It's the community doing it for ourselves. We will look after our own, and the more I show that, and the more stuff I put out online, which is very hard at the moment because they keep doing what I ask, so I can't put anything out. But the more we look after it ourselves, the more people, you know, give people hope. You know what? People do care. Because I think the more people living in fear is doing more damage. Seeing all this stuff online, I think nobody cares, we're on our own, suicide rates are up, everyone's depressed, but in fact the world's a beautiful, lovely place. And you guys here all show that. Otherwise you wouldn't all be here, because you all care. Hopefully.
Amazing. Thank Chris missed the talk yesterday, didn't he? So we imagine it done. So when do you want these safeguards in place? March next year?
Yesterday.
Imagine it's done. They are there, they just need to leave here. So we can do that. I think what we have to do as our small little team is win that of you, what we can do to help you, and make that information available for all of you. And then we can all share that around amongst all of the people that we know and energise it and make it happen, because that's what we're here to do. That's our job.
Can I just quickly say, this is, I know there's a lot of people that run different, a lot of people here that run different communities, and I've run a lot of communities in the past. This is not my community, it is set up as a CIC, so everyone brings, there's no one in charge, there's no one, you know, everyone brings their own and gets stuck in. So when people phone me and say, what can I do? I don't know, you tell me. Because to build something like this, you need to bring your skill and tell me what you can do. This is what we're doing, how can you help?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.